And welcome to another episode of Our Reviews Will Kill You. This is actually our chat room where we bring in some amazing guests and discuss some very current and relevant topics. I am the man they know as Z, and I am here today, and I am joined by the illustrious loser. There was a recent documentary about how great the Bulls are, and Noob Noob had nothing to do with it, so there's the Noob Noob.
Yeah, I like Mexican blowjobs.
Oh, wow. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
And I have no words for that. And then there's I'm actually almost speechless, but not really. And then there's the other bearded wonder, who is the Scott Keebler of all things.
That's right. We're back live again. I'm going to behave tonight because we have a very special guest, and this is actually the guy that makes sure that I can pay my bills a lot of times. So I'm going to behave. I'm on my best behavior tonight. Do not expect anything from me, but I'm going to waste no more time. I'm going to introduce to the YouTube world, which, of course, if you're with us on YouTube, we are live. The chat room is up. Go ahead and join us. But Frank Mancuso, a producer, an actor, and a writer. The writing part of it, we're gonna brag about. He's been winning awards left and right, including the Los Angeles Crime and Horror Film Festival, the Prisma Independent Film Awards, a big one in Las Vegas. That was a fun one. And of course, we can't let him go on without mentioning his interview in New York Glamour. Franklin. Ooh.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. So, Scott, I don't think I'm going to let Noob Noob go with the first question. So maybe I'll let Scott at least give a warm-up question first. Do you have a warm-up question there, Scott?
We did mention that, Frank, your writing has been on fire. You've been going with stuff big and left and right, but the Las Vegas one was a big award that, we're all very proud of. So why don't you tell us real fast about what that was all about?
All right, great. Thank you. Basically, I had submitted my very first screenplay, which I originally wrote in 1989. And then basically after Blue Iron Productions, after we finished that, I decided to get back into the writing. So I revamped and updated the script called STAIN, which stands for Special Tactics or Narcotics Enforcement. And it's basically about two former ex-military buddies who become cops. And when his partner secretly retires, according to the whole law enforcement department, basically he actually goes to work undercover with the DEA, and he requests through his chief to bring McReynolds back to work with him. And unfortunately, when his partner is killed, Stain, which is McReynolds, brings his team in to go after basically the dirty cops as well as the cartel to clean up the department. So lots of action, a lot of explosion, car chase scenes, martial arts. It's a lot of exciting film, and I was very happy to be awarded and selected first place at the Las Vegas International Film for Best Adventure, Best Action Film.
Damn, that sounds like a lot of fun. I guess I'll ask a follow-up there. As someone who's a screenwriter and you kind of pass the you pass the script off, or at least like the concept to somebody else, how does it feel to like give up that control and then see it envisioned? Or do you go back and be like, yeah, that's not exactly what I envisioned? Or you're like, oh, that's really cool that I saw it that way?
Well, basically it's still in pre-production mode. We haven't actually filmed that yet, but it's basically one of the things that I hope to keep a lot of the originality in the project. I'm sure there'll be some slight differences, I guess, between the artistic part of the director, whoever gets his hold on it. But I basically would like to see the main characters and stuff stay true to themselves, because to me, that's what's important, especially since I wrote this with being a retired law enforcement, having that background. That I originally wrote this after interviewing two former actual NYPD cops, especially one that was in narcotics, and both were Korean vets. Basically gave me a lot of the inspiration for the story itself.
Oh, that's cool. So you took a lot of it from real life. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I did my research on that.
And that's always important. I just want to remind folks out there too. We do have live chat where they can ask questions. If you want to ask Frank a question, maybe about screenwriting, I do want to say what's up to Bird Doritos is in the house. So what's up there, brother? And I'll let Noob Noob ask a question because I have a legit question, sort of. But maybe
Okay.
Noob has a question.
Yikes. All right. So what, again, this is not my opinion at all. Just to preface, this is probably information from Scott. And what he has told me is that you are the funding man in some instances. Let me just start off with that. Is that part correct?
Yes, you could consider me as the executive producer. I'm the person who obtains all the finances for our production. That's correct.
Okay. Cool. So now my follow-up to that is that, not that Scott says this directly, but he may have mentioned that you sell hardcore cocaine to get the money for it. And I don't know necessarily is that true, because again, according to sources, mainly Scott's Twitter, you are a poor man's Heisenberg.
Yeah, like I said, I definitely don't do that part. It's basically just knowing the right people that makes everything works. That's how the world goes around, and especially this industry.
The drug dealers, the right drug dealers to push the product.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Are you hiring, and do you need to be a legal citizen? Just asking for a friend. Do you need to be a legal citizen to work for your employer?
Yes.
Shit. All right. That'll eliminate
we're not smuggling anyone across the wall. I can say it is thanks to Frank that we were able to complete projects like Blue Iron. We still have other things that we're working on the cusp that we're hoping to see get started once this whole pandemic thing is over. I'll tell you what, Frank has actually done so much for me that I've decided to go sleeveless tonight just for him. You go. If anyone was going to inspire me, this is something that Frank did. I am sleeveless tonight because of Frank.
Perfect, because you know what we're talking about. Hey, you want to know my nickname for my basically for my new book that I'm running? I won't give you the real title, but basically it's called Family Betrayal, because I'm currently working on a book. But my nickname, or as my writer's name, would be Harry Silverback.
And yes, he is. I've seen the man without a shirt. He's a wild animal.
So that's what I'm going to use as my pen name on my book is Harry Silverback.
Oof.
I won't give you the correct title, but it's about family betrayal.
That's going to be interesting. Harry Silverback, available in paperback.
There you go. See.
We want to give a shout out in the chat to Booski, my main man out there. He's a stone cold killer. I do another question for you there, Frank.
Go ahead.
So we covered a story a couple weeks ago about a famous actor entering into amateur screenwriting contests and winning. I don't know if you heard about this. Shia LaBeouf actually went through and entered in and won a couple of contests. Do you feel like that's legit? Like, should that guy be allowed to contribute to these, or do you think it's kind of like a scam? Like, or is he just being a pompous jackhole? Like, what do you think?
To be honest, I really don't know much about the man, but I heard about it, and as to his writing skills, I'm not really, I can't critique it. I didn't read his script, but I do kind of think that wasn't kind of cool that he had to submit into basically these contests, try to get a little bit more of what we call 15 minutes of fame, because he's coming out of the spotlight a little.
Yeah, I mean, how would you like to go to one of these contests and see that Ben Affleck put a script in next to yours? I mean,
oh, I know. Yeah, like I said, when I go to the film festivals and we're out there, these are basically amateurs who've written multiple award-winning scripts, and they're trying to get their feet in the industry through the Writers Guild. And then you get someone like that, and you're like, really? That's like going into a movie, and we're going to do a fight scene, and all of a sudden, Van Damme or Steven Seagal shows up on set, and I'm like, really? I got to fight him? It's like odds are basically really pretty much stacked against you, which is not cool. That's not cool at all. So yeah, I really wasn't too happy when I heard about stuff like that. To me, that's just a little bit
impossible
of exposure for him.
Yes. Well, I appreciate. I can definitely see where that's coming from. I remember back in the day.
We're struggling writers, like struggling actors. We're trying to get our stuff exposed and try to get our name out there and stuff. And that's one of the things that you're trying to do. And, you get basically a ringer, if you want to call it that way, a ringer in there. And that's basically what happened on that.
Yeah, I agree. I think Noob disagrees because he's in love with Shia LaBeouf, but.
Oh, I would eat that man's dick for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, way to bring the show down, Noob. Every effing time.
There you go.
So
bring the show down, but bring something else up.
So let me ask you, Frank. And this is a lot more for our listeners, for everyone else. We talk about the scripts and winning the awards and going to the next level, but you were mentioning earlier about, getting it somewhere and getting a director to take it on everything else. But what would be the next step with a script like this, something that's winning awards that has a good chance of seeing the light of day? What is the next step? And if you tell me that I'm hired, I will definitely be there.
Well, basically, things are in the works. I do have things. Basically, I have submitted through a link called Inktip. It's a place where writers submit their scripts, and it gives us tips to writers to submit their scripts to currently productions all over the United States that are looking for new material. And I have been inquired by several production companies about the script, and I currently have someone looking at it right now, and basically hope that things go well after this pandemic ends over, and that things will be happening for us, Scott, which would be good. And then, of course, I'm still trying to raise the current funding for the new project, which is the race, as you know. And like I said, then we'll be producing that, and got some good, interesting people aboard, hopefully. And then we'll be going. So basically, you're looking at our projects. We have basically 6 projects that we could be doing, hopefully in the next 3 years, with all the scripts once the financing comes into place.
And hopefully I can finally leave this dead end pit that is podcasting. I mean, I love what I do here. This is amazing. And
Scott, you're fired.
You're fucked.
And then I also want to make a recommendation, Frank. There is an actor that you could hire. He's lazy, does not follow orders, says ridiculous things, and usually is mistaken for like Chewbacca's less hairy cousin. I'd like to offer the services of Noob to you. If you ever need someone who's absolutely unreliable and undependable, that would be someone you could hire.
Great. You mean the comedy relief?
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. See? None of these 2 fucking people are funny. I'll work for Snickers and Cuddles. I mean, I would just nuzzle up in between your breasts, read you Harry Potter, and probably, I don't know, play with your wand a little bit.
Oh my God.
Bro.
Not a problem.
Oh, wow.
See, I don't know if Scott's
for the court case later, that's consent. Let's record it.
Hold on. We got 2 people talking on top of each other. Frank.
Right, Scott? I said, did you tell him my other half of who I was and what I used to do?
Oh, you mean like a past in law enforcement? I mean, the guy that's legally allowed to carry a gun in anywhere he goes in the world. Noob, you're fucked.
No, not really, because you're actually the perfect father figure for Noob since he already has that connection. So I figured it's a really good match for the 2 of you.
Yeah, like I said, basically, sometimes I get confused with the big actor called Goldberg a little bit because I'm kind of a little bit on the big side as well.
Noob likes them big.
But no, like I said, part of my history is working, stuff like at Shea Stadium, Yankee Stadium, Madison Square Garden for 25 years, working celebrity security and bodyguard work for them. So I've had an interesting past.
Well, it's cool because you can adapt all that to your screenplays as well. So I think that's pretty interesting.
That's pretty much what I'm saying. So a lot of sometimes in this industry, it's who you know. And that's what makes things happen.
Well, now you know OrkU, so
it can only go up from here.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's the whole thing about, just moving forward. Like Sylvester Stallone, who's my idol, basically says it's how many times you can get it and how many times you can keep moving forward. And that's pretty much what I do. I just take the obstacles and try to work around them, go over them, go around them, and just keep going forward. And I'm all good for that. I don't let nothing stop me.
That's a great positive attitude to have. Do you guys have any other questions for Frank here?
Noobers?
Can you replace Scott because your goatee is just God? I'm just picturing someone around my mouth now.
I'm going to take that as a no.
That is correct.
Why don't
what? Oh my God! I provide. Is it the Bulls hat?
Yes, it is.
I'll shave my nipples for you.
Just do it.
Well, why don't you tell us where people can reach you if they want to talk to you, maybe acquire about your services or just even reach out as a fan? Where can people reach you?
Basically, you can reach me through my Instagram account, which is called The Calabrian Kid. Basically, that's where my family's originally from Calabria, so I kind of maintain my heritage.
And that has
proud to be Italian.
And that has been scrolling across the screen this entire time. And
that's great.
And of course, because we are a review show, and that's what we do. I asked Frank if there was something he caught recently he'd like to just talk about real fast from his perspective. It was Night Hunter from Amazon Prime, right, Frank?
Absolutely. That was written and directed by David Raymond. I thought that was an excellent film. Starred Henry Cavill, Ben Kingsley, Nathan Fillion, and I tell you, Stanley Tucci. What I liked about it, to me as a writer, the first 20 minutes of the film have to grab you. And I thought this film grabbed me within the first 10 minutes. I thought the subplots between the characters of the judge and the, young runaway girl being used as the decoy for this sex trafficking was a great little counterpart to Henry Cavill's character. I thought he did an excellent job in the role. And, of course, I loved Brendan Fletcher, who played Simon, the crazy double twin nut for the killer. Some great little twists in this film. Excellent movie, good thriller, and definitely worth the watch.
I don't know, Frank. I'm gonna have to disagree with you a little bit there. If you look it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it's only 14% of the tomato meter. The audience gave it only a 54%, which those numbers are not good at all. I was able to watch this last night, and I can see what you're saying when it comes to the acting, and the writing is absolutely fantastic. But it's a critic's consensus, and I can see it as well. It feels like a lot was lost between the actors, their portrayal, the story, and then the editing room. It seemed very jumbled back and forth. A lot too much going on, and some things not really being explained properly as it went from scene to scene.
I'll disagree because, like I said, I was able to follow the characters, and I guess maybe that's part of the twist and the unknowns of what you were looking for, what was coming next. And that's where the surprises were, and I kind of liked it a little bit, but I did really enjoy it, and like I said, especially after, like I said, being here at home with the pandemic and watching so much TV, and you're like, oh my God, how the hell did this shit get on? But it is what it is. But the one that did stand out was this, and I really did enjoy it. Especially my second screenplay, which is called Ava, is also a psychological thriller. So I also have those like little twists. Those narcissistic type of characters, and that's what I'm trying to do for the second film, which is called Ava.
Awesome.
I mean, it is something we can recommend that even though it's poor scores on Rotten Tomatoes, it is worth a watch. People can get their own opinions about it. I recommend it just for the simple fact that it has Alexandra Daddario, and we, of course, are absolutely in love with her. So for nothing else, you can watch it for her. But,
and I thought it was good, a good cast, and I thought they were all cast very well as well. So,
I mean, the disparity too between, you said the audience was 54%. Clearly, the audience on some level likes it, and the critics we all know what the critics' problems are, so we just ignore them.
As I've said many a times, don't listen to the critics. They don't know. They don't know what they're talking about.
It's always the individual's choice of basically you as the viewer how you can take the characters in, and I thought they did a great job.
Well, that's great. Okay, well, I think we're gonna wrap up our time today. I did want to give one more shout out to my YouTube partner there, Doc LA Medic. He is in our chat, and you can catch a video with him and I if you're into GTA Online. We have a walkthrough where we go through some things that you can check out there. So we're adding more content to the site. Keep checking us out for these interviews and more, and make sure you check out Frank. And his Instagram information and Facebook stuff is scrolling across your screen as we talk here. So make sure you check him out. Ask him lots of questions, and ask him if he'll hire Noob Noob, because everybody needs to know the real question. I felt a little on the fence there. Will he hire Noob Noob for Snickers and for Snuggles? And I think the answer could be a maybe.
Could be maybe.
Money.
Definitely maybe. Hashtag hire Noob Noob.
Hire Noob Noob.
I ran out of churros to pay my maid, please.
So from all of us here at Our Reviews Will Kill You to all of y'all at home, we love y'all.
Thank you very much.